bit more. But welcome, and thanks again for taking the time out of your afternoons today to join me for this virtual info session. So happy to have all you guys here. As I mentioned previously, TransPerfect's been working with Fordham University for quite some time now on a lot of our both on-campus and now off-campus virtual recruiting efforts. We have a lot of alumni from Fordham University that work at TransPerfect. So I'm sure you've probably heard of us, either seen it at the career fair or at some events. For those of you who haven't, this info session hopefully will give you some more insights on the company and some of the things that we do here. So just to first introduce myself, my name is Sarah Pogosova, and I work on
There was like 11 people before, now there's only 7, including the host.
Well, hopefully everyone joins in. But yeah, to introduce myself, my name is Sarah Pogosova, and I work on the special projects team. I started with TransPerfect about 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in July. And my team focuses on these 3 bubbles that you see here. So a little bit of backstory. So TransPerfect is a global business solutions company, and we focus on providing our clients with language services and technology solutions. But before I get into that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our team and how we kind of got started. So about 10 years ago, maybe about 10 to 12 years ago, the company was experiencing an exponential amount of growth, and we started branching out into a lot of different industries, and that had a need for more specialty divisions and departments within the company that would handle different areas of technology and different industries such as life sciences and legal. And the HR team at the time couldn't keep up with the demand for the amount of employees that we needed to staff up all of these specialty departments to help service our clients better. So the special projects team was started really as a recruiting team. And then over the course of 10 years, we've kind of branched into these other responsibilities that you see here. My main focus is recruitment and career development, as well as corporate culture and engagement. So not only do we help managers and candidates such as yourselves through the whole recruitment process in terms of, first interview stages, getting you to the right hiring managers, prepping you for interviews, hopefully helping you get the job, the onboarding process and all of that. We also assist with the career development. So as you're kind of working at TransPerfect and navigating through your career, we like to stay in touch, me especially personally, we like to stay in touch with all of you and kind of just check in and see how you're doing. For a lot of you, this could potentially be your first real job outside of college. So it could be a little difficult to sometimes communicate with your manager and have an understanding of what the next step is in your career, whether that be a promotion within your department or maybe you have an interest elsewhere. So that's kind of where I come in and where my team comes in. We kind of help you with those communication efforts and helping you understand, what the next best step is for you and how your manager can help you get there. And the other aspect of some of the things that I do is corporate culture and engagement. So we, of course, stay engaged with all of our employees as best as we possibly can. And we are kind of responsible for being the corporate culture brand ambassadors. So we come up with a lot of the internal trainings and events to kind of show employee appreciation. And some of the engagement that I'm involved in is obviously campus and recruitment engagement. So I work with a lot of the universities across the board on career fairs, info sessions such as these, setting up events, shadow days when, groups can come into the office and meet with some of the employees, as well as have kind of a very in-depth presentation on TransPerfect and what are some of the things that we have to offer. And then the last portion of our group has been recently founded by a very good friend of mine who was at TransPerfect before I was. She became a friend. We were colleagues at first, but she's on the team as well, and her focus is tech branding and content development. So she works a lot with our technical teams on their solutions and how to properly market that to our clients. So everything from helping them with their websites and informational videos to webinars, going to conferences to document, our trade shows and all the things that we do, and figuring out how to better brand that to our clients and as well as future clients. So that's a little bit of a brief overview about my team and some of the things that we do. Now, TransPerfect is a company that's pretty well established within the language services industry, but most people haven't heard of us because we're not a home brand. But ultimately, we were founded in 1992 out of an NYU dorm room by two CEOs. We've recently have gone down to one CEO at the time. It's the original founder of the company, Phil Shaw, and he bought out his former partner, Liz Elting, and now he has full control of the company. But ultimately, TransPerfect was founded within the NYU dorm room with 2 computers, 1 fax machine, a phone, and just a dream really. They saw a need within the market to expand on translation services and how that really helps other companies go global and help navigate the global marketplace. So our mission as a company is to be the world's leading provider in language solutions by continuing exceeding our clients' expectations and the expectations of both our employees and all of our vendors and suppliers. So, we are not just a translations company. We do so much more, everything from, multicultural marketing to offering language solutions within the technical space, such as website localization. We offer legal services that are both, language focused, where we translate legal documents, as well as, offering something called e-discovery solutions. I'm not going to get into that too much because if you're not from the legal space, you're not too familiar with it, but ultimately we help law firms and Fortune 500 companies on their data collecting and mining, and then assist with the analysis of all that data, whether it be for a case or a merger and acquisition or anything like that. We have a dedicated life sciences group that works with big companies such as, Merck and Pfizer on all of their, pharmaceutical needs in terms of, clinical trial development and, getting patient questionnaires translated into different languages to gather up all that data to get the drugs approved on the global marketplace by the FDA and things like that. So if you may not have heard of us, but we work with almost all Fortune 500 companies, and we're a very well-known brand within our industry. So this is just a chart here that can give you a little bit of insight into all of the growth that we've had over the years. So as any successful company likes to brag about their numbers, we definitely like to brag about ours a little bit. But as you can see, we've had growth from the very beginning, from when we were founded in 1992 all the way up until 2019 now. And it's been positive growth. A lot of it for several years was also very organic, as we didn't go through any mergers and acquisitions between about 2013 to 2018. So all of that was organic growth. It was really through the support of our employees, we were able to help push through more products, bring more clients on board for our services, execute better on projects, and ultimately that's what helped us grow so much in those 5 years without the need to buy out any companies and bring their products on board. So it's all been TransPerfect's innovative innovative minds and hardworking individuals that made this happen. This is where we are now. So, it took us 12 years to make $56 million, which is a lot in the grand scheme of things. But you know, just last year alone in 2019, we went from 2018 to 2019, we went up $58 million in revenue in just 1 year alone. So that just goes to show how much we have kind of diversified ourselves within the market. And because we offer so many different services and we work with so many different clients, it gives us the ability to really grow our business and continue to see growth year over year. Successful companies like to brag about their numbers. So just another chart just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea about just how big TransPerfect is. So we currently have over 6,000 global employees. We have over 100 offices worldwide in 100 cities, 6 continents. Antarctica is really the only one where we don't have an office, but I imagine that one day, if there's going to be a need for our services there, we would probably open one, just not have somebody based there all year round. Yeah, so this is kind of just some of the things that we are currently involved in terms of our global footprint and things like that. Here is a map of some of the larger cities and locations that we have. So as you can see, we're pretty well spread out. We have an office in Sydney, Australia. We have a lot of offices both on the East Coast and West Coast in the USA, and we are a big player in the European market as well. It's one of the great things about TransPerfect. You know, if there is a market there, we probably have an office there. And if you are interested in maybe working in an office that's not New York or even in the US, there's probably an opportunity for you there as well. This is just some of our numbers again over the last year. You know, we've had 9 strategic acquisitions over the last year, bringing on companies such as Propulse Video, as well as Moji Group. Moji Group is involved kind of in the gaming industry, which is pretty exciting. We've created over 1,000 new jobs over the last year. You know, we've gone up 32% in some of our technology solution sales, which is really exciting as well. So what do we do? So here are some of the things that TransPerfect does, as I mentioned before, but we are involved in translation, interpretation, website localization, which is the taking of websites and having them translated into several different languages. So, you know, one example that I can think of right now is one of our largest clients, Marriott. We have been responsible for translating their websites now for about 10 years, I want to say. And we do that through a global suite of technology solutions that we offer called Global Link. Not to kind of bore you with all the technical nitty-gritty things, but ultimately what it does is it's a proxy server. So we host our clients' websites on our servers and then in real time kind of do all the translating and updating for that once you've had the platform launched. We're also involved in multicultural marketing. So in addition to, you know, translating content for our clients, we help them market it to other areas and other regions. So, you know, one project that I could think of is Abercrombie and Fitch wanted to start selling their clothes in China. So we helped them with their whole multicultural marketing campaign and assisted them with, you know, understanding the Chinese market and helping them bridge the gap between the cultures and put together a marketing plan that was super effective and efficient for them to be able to really kind of sell the clothing line successfully there. We also offer, you know, e-learning and training solutions, software testing, search engine optimization, clinical trial support, and some of these other things that I already mentioned. So as you can see, we offer a lot of different services. So we are truly more than just a translations company. Here's some of the family of companies that we kind of have under our umbrella. So some of the bigger ones are translations.com, which does the website localization, TransPerfect Legal Solutions. That's what I was telling you about earlier with eDiscovery, where we work with law firms and Fortune 500 companies on processing and analyzing their big data. We have Digital Reef, which is a part of that as well. TransPerfect Life Sciences, that focuses on working and partnering with the big pharma, medical device, biotech companies. We have Astoria Software and Basant Systems. They're responsible for content management, which helps companies keep all of their content in one place, and a few other things that I won't really get into right now, but these are just some of the different opportunities that we have in the different industries that we work within, and the companies that we have that represent all of our clients within the spaces. So, of course, this is a big topic right now, COVID-19 and what the new normal is. So, we have seen definitely a change at TransPerfect in terms of how we manage our day-to-day business. But, with that being said, our employees, safety and well-being is our number one priority. But ultimately, this is kind of how we're handling the situation right now. And hopefully we're going to make the best of it and come out strong on the other end. But just to check in during uncertain times, I'm sure a lot has changed for everybody here. For those of you that were out-of-state students, you had to leave your dorms or your apartments and go back home. Classes have now become virtual. Info sessions are virtual. The career fairs have gone virtual. You're doing all of your homework online right now. You're spending more time probably with family that you live with, but not necessarily having the opportunity to see your family and friends that don't live at home with you, which, speaking from a personal standpoint, has been very difficult, especially for me. I've moved away from my family recently. I transferred from New York to Miami, so they were supposed to come and visit me, and then COVID-19 happened. So it's definitely been an adjustment for me as well as a lot of other TransPerfect employees. But ultimately, all that it's really changed for us is our process. So we thankfully have a lot of things in place that help us operate remotely very easily. And that's how we are. So we are, we have offices closed down. All of the employees are kind of working virtually or remotely at the moment. And we're just still trying to be there as a resource to our clients and make sure that we are always available to help them through this difficult time and help them navigate through this so that they can ultimately also stay successful in this time. So this is what we are doing now. So this is actually a picture of our CEO, Phil Shaw, who's actually been spending most of his time in our New York office right now, kind of locked up in his office with a few other executives. This was him on his way to a really important client meeting that was just essential and couldn't be avoided. So he got suited up, put on his mask, and was ready to go. So what we're doing now is we're continuing to provide remote solutions for clients with the use of all of our different technology services that we offer. We are innovating new business solutions for the new normal. So one thing that I can think of is Governor Cuomo signed into order that if you need documents notarized right now. Normally when you're going to a notary, it has to be done in person. And you sign the document, the notary stamps it, verifies that it's you, and your documents are signed and ready to go. That obviously is not the case right now. So Governor Cuomo put into effect virtual notaries. So you can have your documents verified by a notary virtually and signed that way. And as a way to kind of help our clients through this phase, law firms and financial firms, they have the need to have a lot of documents signed and notarized. So we've started to offer virtual notary services with some of the attorneys that work for TransPerfect. So we set up, Zoom meetings and WebEx meetings with our clients, and we offer them this virtual notary service, which is great. And it just goes to show how we keep, innovating within the markets and, trying to continue to be a resource for our clients and help them through these hard times. We're also providing support support for remote opportunities for employees to ensure health and safety. So, I'm working from home right now, as are most of the most TransPerfect employees. And, we've all been given the great opportunity to do that with, incredible resources, everything from, everyone having a WebEx account so that we can all get online if we need to and have a meeting, to just having the resources and the tools that we need to, remote into our computers at work and, still continue working and get the job done. So why join TransPerfect? Just a few reasons to work with us. This is my favorite part of the presentation. So we are committed to corporate social responsibility. We understand that, we are very successful, and our numbers grow and our revenues increase every year, but it's also very important to give back. So we are involved in a lot of different foundations and organizations that help give back within the community. So just a few things that I've been involved in the past. We work very closely with the V Foundation for Cancer Research, and as a company, each year we raise money through a 5K marathon, or a 5K run, I should say, that's done in different states throughout the US. And employees get together on a Saturday, run a 5K, have people sponsor them and donate money and funds, and then we take all of that money and we donate it to the V Foundation for Cancer Research. We also are involved in Toys for Tots every year. So every year, employees in the major cities get together and donate money, and the amount of money that is collected is then matched by our CEO, Phil, and we then take all that money and we do a major shopping spree for toys to provide children in need of toys for the holidays through Toys for Tots. So just some examples of some of the things that we do. Industry leadership and reputation. We are, not only the largest privately held language services company in the world right now, but we are also the number one company out there. Our competitors are, at 2 and 3 with about 200 million in revenue below where we are right now, which is huge, considering the fact that it's such a large industry, and to be the leader in it is very impressive. And I think it's something that helps us, strive to even do better than the year before. And then we have a massive global reach. So as you saw in the previous map, we have a very large global footprint, offices all over the world. And, with that, we also have a very dynamic company culture. I've done some traveling to different offices within TransPerfect, both in the States and abroad. And our company culture, I would say, definitely is the same through all of our offices across the board. Everyone is just so diverse and has the same goal and mission to do what's best and what's right for our clients. Everyone's kind of an entrepreneur at heart, I would say, which is only natural given the fact that the company was started by 2 entrepreneurs with an idea. So that's just some of the things that I think are just a few reasons to join us, as well as our constant growth and innovation, which I've pointed out in previous slides with the bragging of all of our numbers. So these are some of TransPerfect's core values. These are the things that we value as a company, and we value this especially within all of our employees, and some of the things that we look for within people that we want to hire. So, integrity and respect, very important things. The ability to own it. So, having a project and you just kind of figure out how to get the project off the ground and oversee it from beginning to end, and really taking ownership of that project. And if it's a successful project and you succeed, great. If there are some flops that happen along the way, awesome. Just own up to the mistakes that you may have made and learn from them. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I would say that we look for within people. Teamwork, we're a very team-based and collaborative environment with a very flat organization. A lot of our senior level managers and executives sit amongst their teams. We don't really have a closed door policy. Doors are always open, and you always have direct access to, if not your manager, then your most senior manager on the team, and you have the ability to talk to them and learn from them as well as from other members of your team. So yeah, just some of our core values and the things that we really value within employees and within the company. And a little bit about our company culture. So, in addition to that kind of entrepreneurial spirit that I talked about earlier, we are also, we have, different affinity groups, corporate social responsibility, as well as employee engagement. So some of our affinity groups here, we have our group called Advocate. It's our LGBTQIA group. And we participate in the AIDS Walk every year, as well as donating our time at various soup kitchens and shelters for the LGBTQIA community. We have our affinity group that was recently put together called Strive. It's for people of color and for all those who support people of color, as well as some groups that empower women as well. So we have our Working Women group, as well as our Ladies in Legal group. And then some of the other corporate social responsibility that we're involved in is helping people from different backgrounds really build out their careers and find a place for themselves in the workforce. So Girls Who Code is a group that we're involved in, which supports girls within technology and in development, and software development and things like that. Bottom Line is a program that I'm very much involved in. It's a group that works with students who are from first generation households or from lower income groups, and it helps them starting from high school all the way to their college career. And it helps them navigate through the workforce and schoolwork and internships, and really helps them develop a strong sense of self. Some of the things that we do with Bottom Line is we offer shadowing opportunities. So we have students come to our office and stay with some of our teams for the day, and kind of see what we do on the day-to-day. We offer internship opportunities, and we do hire a lot of students from the universities that have partnered with Bottom Line, and we offer those students internships as well. And then some of the things that I'm personally very much involved in are the employee engagement groups. So our intern appreciation that we have every summer. So every summer we have a very large dedicated intern program, specifically in our New York office, where we offer a variety of internships, both in project management, sales, operations, accounting, and every week you get together with the other interns and you listen to you have presentations and listen to other people from the company talk about their experiences at TransPerfect and what some of their job responsibilities are, as well as learning about different aspects of the company and kind of where you fit after your internship if you're interested in full-time opportunities. We also host a mixer at the beginning of the internship, so you can kind of get to know other interns outside of your department, as well as kind of a closing event that happens at the end of the summer, which is really fun and exciting. We are also responsible for internal team events, internal trainings, as I mentioned earlier, and a lot of different things that are social media related, both on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and things like that. So before we get to this slide, I'll come back to this one, but this was a slide just to give you a little bit more insight on our company culture. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the careers that we have at TransPerfect. So, we offer a wide variety of opportunities within the company. These are just a few of them. And a lot of our opportunities are within project management, sales, quality assurance, client services, technology, and litigation support. There's obviously a lot of other things as well, such as accounting, operations, human resources, recruiting, things like that. But these are just some to name a few of them. And how you're able to apply. So, you can visit our website at transperfect.com/careers. You can contact us at our email, careers.jobs@transperfect.com. And then here's the emails to the recruitment teams directly. And here's my contact information as well. So I'm going to leave this up for about a minute or so you guys can write these down if you'd like. And then we will come back to one of the other slides that I focused on earlier. But does anybody have any questions at the moment that I could answer?
Yeah, I do.
Mhm.
I had seen on the careers website that there were a lot of positions in almost all of the states that were listed as remote. Is that because of COVID-19, or were they always remote?
Which positions are you referring to specifically?
Some, I'm not entirely sure because I didn't look at. I was more looking at where I could click for location selection, and I was noticing that a lot of states had them, but I believe they were some internship positions like the production intern or operations intern, stuff like that.
Yeah, so a lot of that is listed as remote right now, given the current COVID-19 situation that we have. Normally, our internship program is within our New York office, and we have opportunities within our other offices as well. If hiring managers have a need for an intern in the summer and have the capacity to bring somebody on board and train them and give them a really great summer experience. Right now, we have kind of started interviews for our summer internship program, and we're just trying to figure out right now if it'll be a remote internship or if it it really all depends on how things go in the next few weeks. If we find out whether or not we're still sheltering at home or we're able to reopen our offices and have people come in and start working. But ultimately, our internship program is usually from June to mid-August. And depending on what you're interested in, like I said, we have opportunities within project management, sales, accounting, operations, HR and recruiting, and things like that.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so just because I think a video says 1,000 words, I would like you guys now to just take a few minutes and watch our company culture video. It's called the TransPerfect Effect. It's actually one of the first things that my team was involved in. So we created this video 4 years ago, and this is kind of how the tech branding and content management emerged on my team. So we put videos together like this all the time now for the company to help highlight and showcase some of the things that we're doing, as well as our different technology solutions. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it can outline our culture and give you more insights on some of the things that I've already been talking about.
Sarah? Oh, excuse me.
All right, so that was our company culture video. And that just about wraps up my presentation. So I would love to first figure out how to maximize my screen here. And then I'm happy to answer all questions that you guys have. Don't all chime in at once.
Sarah, I think they had some difficulty hearing parts of the video. I just see in the chat box, they want to know if there's possibly a link online or maybe something that I can email everyone so they can rewatch that.
Yeah, absolutely. I will get that over to you at the end of this session, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you so
Trying to
much.
also, yeah, absolutely. Okay, see. If you guys want to type in your questions in the chat box, as soon as I could find it, figure out how to see it here, I'm happy to answer them.
Check on the bottom of the screen where you clicked share screen. It should be to the left, the chat box.
Oh, okay, yes. I see it. All right. All right, no questions as of yet, but does anybody have any more questions, either about the company, any opportunities that we might have, anything like that?
Well, yeah, it seems like most of the internships have to do with the background processes like operations or recruiting, and that the certification requirements for the translators themselves are quite steep, which is of course good. But I was just wondering, are there ever internship opportunities to work with the languages themselves or to assist with that kind of translation?
Are you interested in kind of working as a translator
Yeah, but I
yeah.
don't know if that's possible to break into as an undergraduate.
Right. So I would recommend probably an opportunity within project management. So our production teams are responsible for handling each language project from beginning to end. They work with the languages, not so much translating it, but they're responsible for finding the appropriate translators for each position. So, since we offer since we work with all different industries across the board, we need to make sure that our translators are also industry experts. So, for example, you wouldn't have somebody that's well versed in pharmaceutical translating legal documents, just because the language is just not the same. So you're kind of, as a project manager or project coordinator, even within the project management internship, you're responsible for staffing up those projects with the appropriate translators, getting all the deliverables from the client, so the documents or the content, getting it from the client over to the translator, kind of doing a quality check of all the work after it's been done, so making sure that it all looks aesthetically pleasing before we send it back to the client, managing and maintaining the budget of each project, things like that. So you're very hands-on involved in managing the project from beginning to end, and it gives you the opportunity to see some of the documents that we translate or the content and things like that, and then you'll be able to kind of see how the translators work and things like that. So we obviously have a machine aspect to it, where we have certain words that are already translated and we keep them in a database and kind of plug and play, but then we use a lot of translators and a lot of human work as well to kind of add that human touch, because things don't translate literally, obviously. So that's kind of how we've managed to maintain such a high quality of translated content, because we use both aspects.
Yeah, thank you. That was very helpful.
And I see here a question from Ryan about opportunities available in sales and client services, and what are the difference between the two. So Ryan, we have entry-level opportunities within both of those fields, sales and client services. I would say the main difference is, if you're working within sales, you're kind of responsible for not just being the first point of contact for the clients and managing their accounts, but ultimately, depending on the direction that you want to go in, you'll have to try to break out, of course, into either different markets or different clients, and try to win over new business and kind of work on some business development efforts. Our client services team is more focused and responsible on maintaining those really critical client relationships that we have. We have some clients that we've been working with for quite some time. One that I can think of is the pharmaceutical company Merck. We've been working with them for probably 15 years, and they have a dedicated team of client service individuals who are responsible for working with them closely on all of their needs, kind of alleviating some of the stress that the salesperson might have on the account management side. So, the main difference between the two is the selling aspect, but both roles are very much client facing, and both do involve kind of building and maintaining relationships. One is just kind of more a support role, and the other role is kind of focused a bit more on selling. I hope that answered your question. Feel free to speak up too, guys. You can unmute yourselves and speak out. So Louisa, what do you consider should be one of the most important skills to have for a job at project management? I would say we look at soft skills more than anything else, especially for recent grads or anybody in undergrad, because those are the more important skills. A lot of other things can be taught, but some of the most important skills that I would say in terms of soft skills are having a very high sense of urgency. Working within project management, what you're really responsible for is managing and maintaining our clients' expectations on how quickly their projects can be done. So having a high sense of urgency and getting back to them in a timely fashion, or understanding the urgent need of a project and how it can be completed more quickly is very important. I would say it's very important to have excellent communication skills, because you're spending most of your day communicating either with your team or clients or management or what have you, and having very strong attention to detail. This is especially important within project management because you're dealing with a lot of sensitive information and documents or content, and it's important to kind of see where there might be any discrepancies either in our process or some of the work that the translator did. It's very important to deliver a very high quality product to our clients. So being able to kind of notice any mistakes that could come across throughout the process is very important. And the ability to stay organized. And I imagine that through the years you guys have developed really great organizational skills, because Fordham is a great school and they definitely keep you guys busy. So time management and organization is very important there. So I hope that answered your question. For Taxa, having offices around the world, how often do employees get to travel abroad? It really depends on the position that you're holding, I would say. A lot of our sales teams get the opportunity to travel either for client meetings or for conferences and things like that. Some of our project management teams get the opportunity to travel as well, for training purposes, to go to other locations to train other employees, also to attend conferences. Our operations team does a lot of travel because they're responsible for maintaining all of our offices around the world. I travel a lot for recruiting purposes. So I go to different universities and I go to different offices to also train employees and things like that. In some roles you travel more than in others, and in some roles you don't travel at all. It just really, it depends. But the opportunity is there. For example, if you want to, let's say hypothetically speaking, take a 2-week vacation, but you want to spend a few days working out of an office to the destination that you're going to, that opportunity is there. So, if, for example, you're going to Barcelona for 2 weeks, but you don't want to take a full 2 weeks off from work, you can certainly take a few days and go work out of our Barcelona office where we have 700 employees. It's definitely something that we encourage our employees to do they want to take an extended amount of time off, but don't have the days to do it, or are like me and who can't stay away from work for more than a week. What does an entry position in project management look like, and what is it needed to stand out in the recruiting phase? Okay, so I mean, like I said, the position, it's kind of managing projects from beginning to end, so the full life cycle of these language projects. In order to stand out in the recruiting phase, I would say like those soft skills are very important. If you were to start the recruiting process, typically it's a phone interview with one of the recruiters, such as myself. And then for project management specifically, we have an assessment that we would like you to take. It's called the Final Eye Assessment, where you're comparing and contrasting two sets of documents, and you're making note of some errors that you might find there. So punctuation errors, missing texts, numbers being backwards, things like that. And that's where that attention to detail comes into play. It's really kind of how we gauge your attention to detail and kind of see if you'd be able to pick up on some of the mistakes that you might see in the day-to-day in TransPerfect working as a project manager. So if you do well on that, we would move forward to the next phase, which is, have you come in for an on-site interview. In this case, have you do a virtual interview with some of the hiring managers. And I think that the way to stand out there is to really come prepared for an interview. So, having a good understanding of what the position is and what TransPerfect does is one really good way to start, coming in with having done your research. Always have questions prepared and ready to go. I'm sure that I've touched base on a lot of this questions that you would have, but always have questions for anyone coming into an interview that you're going to meet with, whether it's about them or what some of the job expectations are, or what they think is so great about TransPerfect and why they stayed with the company as long as they have. It's always good to have some questions prepared for the people that will be interviewing you, to show that level of engagement. That's just a few things that I would recommend. Always make sure that your resume is neat, and check for grammatical and spelling errors. Super important. Attention to detail, again, can't stress that enough. But yeah, that's kind of some of the things that I would say probably make you stand out throughout the recruiting phase.
Sarah, can I just add to that note in regards to the resume? If everyone can upload their current resume onto their Handshake account, I will forward those over to Sarah for you. I was looking at everyone's accounts, and some of you do not have resumes on there or an updated resume. So if you can do that within the next hour or two, I will make sure they get passed along to Sarah.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay. So I hope that answered your question. Do you have any recommendations for entry-level applicants? I mean, in addition to the things that I've already said, come in with appropriate expectations of what the job entails, and what the salary could be for the position, as well as what the growth plan could be from there. Like I said, come prepared, have questions ready to ask, whether it be about the job or kind of where you would see yourself going after 2 or 3 years within the company. Doing your research is, I would say, honestly, the most important thing, and I cannot stress that enough for all entry-level applicants. Does anybody have any other questions?
Just one more small, quick one, just like
Sure.
a technical note. Who would you recommend addressing a cover letter to, or does it depend on the position? Sometimes that information is hard to find online.
I would say it depends on the position. So it really does vary. I like cover letters because I think that it gives me the opportunity to get to know you a little bit. So I would kind of highlight some of the things that I would say highlighting in a cover letter would be your skills and how those skills can bring value to the position that you're applying for.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have any questions? Lindsay, I think we're all set here.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you everyone for joining us today for TransPerfect's presentation. Like I said, I'll be sending Sarah your resume, so please update those and put them on your Handshake Documents tab within that next hour or two. And thank you so much for your time, Sarah. This was a lot of great information for the students, and I'm sure they really appreciated it.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help. We will also be doing an social media takeover next week as well. So tune in to, I think it's Instagram. So just keep a lookout
Yes.
on the Fordham Instagram page. You'll be seeing some of our content and some of the things that we're doing right now.
That's
Okay.
great. That's next Thursday, right?
Yes, I believe
Okay.
so. Mm-hmm.
Great. So yeah,
Okay.
guys, look out for that. If you don't follow the careers page, it's Fordham Careers on Instagram. And then they also have, Twitter and Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you taking the time to go through my presentation today, and I look forward to seeing all of your resumes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.